Greetings and salutations, Solo Guy here, and today I have got another unboxing or check it out videos regarding Multi-Man Publishing Company's Advanced Squad Leader Starter Kits. Now, I've already made a couple of other videos before looking at this. This is Starter Kit 1 that covered all the infantry, World War II combat, including machine guns, flamethrowers, demolition charges, but no artillery, no mortars, no anti-tank guns. This is Starter Kit number 2, which you do not need to buy Starter Kit 1 in order to fully play the components here, but this emphasizes on things like anti-tank guns, mortars, bazookas, Panzerschrecks, for all you World War II fans out there. We covered that in another video. So I'm now going to be looking at the last one here. There is one more that covers the Pacific. The Pacific is not really an interest of mine per se, but nevertheless, I have had this kit for a while, and it was time for me to go open it up and check it out and show you guys, hey, what about it? Again, these are individual kits by themselves. All the pieces, you can combine them together and combine for bigger games if you wanted to do that. This is, again, self-contained. This is emphasizing on armor and vehicles. Now, on the back, you have got 1, 2, 3 maps, cardboard mounted. The others were including 2. So just buying the 3 starter kits, you have 7 maps, which is, you can have a very nice layout. And then here you have got the vehicles, or examples of vehicles from different parts of the war, and it gives you some background and all that. So hey, let's go ahead, let's check it out. Chocked full. Okay. First thing we notice, there are 4 scenario cards. They are double-sided, so we'll get to those in just a moment. So you have 8 scenarios. You have a book here that says Vehicle and Ordnance Historical Notes. So, I mean, if you're curious about origins of these weapons and what happened, how did they use it, there's a lot of information in here that's packed in. It's kind of like a chapter H in the full-on ASL rulebook. Okay? And again, when you turn on the back, it gives you the counters, and then it points out what do all the different numbers and letters mean, which is really a useful item to have. Put that off to the side. Counters. Now here there are more counters. So we have here 2.5 counter sheets. So the first counter sheet that you're looking at are infantry and machine guns and bazookas and mortars. For the tan would be the British, the light green the American, the brown would be the Russians, and the blue would be the Germans. There's also a turn marker here as well. If you flip to the back side, you'll see that it's either broken or malfunctioned weapons. But in the case of like the bazookas, for example, here, it gives you the to-hit numbers as well. Here is the half counter sheet, which again, you take a closer look, it shows you German, American, and Russian vehicles. Now, you also have some German ordnance in here, like mortars, anti-tank guns. You also have the same thing for the Americans. Interesting to note, none of the Russians have any ordnance. It's more tanks than anything else. When you flip to the back side there for the ordnance, like mortars and artillery and anti-tank guns, it tends to be more like the malfunction side, but all the counters back of the tanks are white, which indicate that they are wrecks. They are no longer in action. So looking at this full-on counter sheet, now it's just jam-packed. And again, you got some more Germans with their support weapons, but you also have informational markers that you can play regular, plain old ASL. If you decide to go into full-blown ASL, these counters will totally go with what you have. You got smoke, you've got turret counters there, which is either crew exposed or buttoned up. That way you keep a track of which way your turret is turning. You also have the acquired markers for hitting the British here. There's some ordnance for the British, some vehicles there, and round out the Italians got a couple of tanks there, and they have a couple of artillery pieces. And here we go with the Russians, some more tanks, and then of course we have some ordnance for the Russians as well. So there's also some things there that you won't find in the others, like a bog, for example, like an immobilized tank, things like that. Other stuff here, it's pretty straightforward. And if you flip on the back, you'll either see malfunctioned parts, wounded counters for heroes, broken counters for single man counters, things like that. This one is just jam-packed. Ah, yes. I also had this for a while, so put that off to the side. So here is the Squad Leader Rulebook, the Advanced Squad Leader Starter Kit number 3 Rulebook. Now this combines Starter Kit number 1 and Starter Kit number 2. So the infantry, machine guns, flamethrowers, demolition charges, mortars, anti-tank guns, artillery, nationality rules if necessary. And again, like in the Starter Kit number 2, when you see these peach-colored, flesh-colored sections, that's stuff that they've added onto it. So naturally, you've got some more rules, but the new rules are highlighted. So for the people who are already familiar with the rule system, they can go and take a look at it. And again, lots of color, lots of images. This is very important. This tends to be very visual as far as learning how the rules work. I find that very important. So you can see that there's a lot in here for that. And they give you examples. Again, they give you the breakdown of the squads and the leader rankings as well. Yeah, I end up getting these colored pieces of paper. I'm not sure. Here we go. So on here it says, hey guys, thanks for buying our starter kit. I gotta say, this company, they're fairly professional. They're also pretty grateful you buy their product. Okay. Now this one says, oops, we found some scenario data there. S22, another summer's day. German Group 1 should only have one 50mm mortar, not 2. Okay, we'll have to check that out. But at least they were cool to include it in there. Now again, for the infantry component, if you've seen the other videos, same exact thing with the infantry fire table, close combat, the dice roll modifiers, the DRM, okay? If you look on the back here, again, it's quick reference for the terrain in terms of movement factor, portage points chart, again, what do the individual counters mean, okay? Because even if you've bought this and you never played, you can still learn the basic of basics because they include scenarios that are primarily infantry with some support weapons. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Oh my. So on here, now this is all together here. So it's still together in terms of AFV destruction table, gun destruction table. So there's like an AP/APCR/APDS to kill table, and that's based off of the caliber, okay, the size of the round, And then of course, for hitting your guy, okay, hitting your target. And then here you've got 4 maps. This is, wow, I have to say, and again, this is for V and U. And it is cardboard. It is cardboard. Okay, here's T. And again, they all intersect with each other. You can lay them next to each other and it will fit. And then here's V as well. So with that, you have a lot of terrain to play with in here. So with that, with 4 map boards, I thought there was 3, but there's 4 map boards, plus the 2 you got in the other 2 kits. Yeah, you're kept pretty busy here. So I'm going to put that off to the side. Now this, they do give you the dice. The extra red and white die are mine, but this is the dice that was included. This is a counter storage. So if you wanted to go punch out the counters, you wanted a place to store them, this is one way that you can do it. Okay. I found another system, and yeah, I'll make a video about that a little later on. Let's take a quick look at the scenarios here. So with these, you have 8 scenarios here, starting at number 21 here, ASL scenario S21. Actually, let me flip this over. Boom, 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 and boom. Okay. There we go. So you have not had a chance to play yet. What does that look like here? What in the world does that look like? Well, this is Joseph 351. This is American / Free French / Russians versus the Germans out there in France in August of 1944. It gives you the setup for the scenario. Who is fighting who? What's the... I always enjoyed the basic story behind it. Why did it happen? What's happening? They give you the victory conditions, and then if there's any special scenario rules, sometimes there is, sometimes there is not. Depends. And then they give you the aftermath. Who won? Not everything was an even firefight, but this is Joseph 351. Here is an all-tank battle, clash at Borisovka. Okay, and this is in the middle of the war. In March of 43, some T-34s go up against a couple of Tiger 1s and their accompanying Panzer IV. Okay. Another summer's day, Sicily, July 1943. Looking at American airborne troops versus the Hermann Goering boys. One more time. And then here, Monty's Gamble, September of 1944 in Europe. The largest airborne drop had been made, and it was a gamble. Had that gamble paid off, the war would have been cut short. Definitely, you know, they estimate by at least 6 months. That needed 3 bridges, and they got 2 of them. So yeah, it happened. But this is a way of recreating some of the fights that they had here. Sherman marches west. Here you go. Well, with Sherman tanks, Lend-Lease. That should be the 3rd Guards Tank Corps. Yeah. And this is during Operation Bagration, named after Prince Bagration, not Bagration. It's not how it's pronounced. Bagration was a Russian general who fought against Napoleon when Napoleon invaded Russia. Just a little tidbit of history for you. Okay, so this is in June 1944. Okay. And then here, early battles. Looking in Lithuania in 1941, so you get some of the early stuff here, like the good old KV-2, that 152 millimeter gun mounted on it. Gave the Germans a lot of headaches. And then last ally, last victory, Here, October 1944, the Germans are trying to hold back the Russians for however long they can. That's a 3-map border. And then here we've got Stand for New Zealand. This is on the island of Crete, where the Germans dropped parachutists, and it was a slugfest for them. But hey, you get to see the British Mark IV tank, which basically was an armored machine gun carrier, but it is early war for you Blitzkrieg fans out there. All right. Now, in here, they also included this goldenrod paper, and it says Advanced Squad Leader as we wrap things up here. So, Advanced Squad Leader. The premier game of tactical World War II combat uniquely combines the soundness of design with attention to detail and ease of play. ASL has long been the ultimate in tactical wargaming, able to simulate any company level ground action from any theater World War II. You now stand at the brink of this wargaming panorama, having mastered the ASL fundamentals as exemplified in ASL SK number 3, tanks. You can easily transition into the world of full-bore ASL. So the ASL Rules 2nd Edition provide all the rules you need to play, as well as the detailed Chapter 8 notes for the Russian and German guns and vehicles. Beyond Valor 3rd Edition provides the counters for the entire Russian and German orders of battle and all the informational counters you need. 14 full counter sheets worth. Wow. The rules introduce a wide variety of terrain types that await you to simulate almost any World War II European battlescape. Multi-level hills, walls, hedges, gullies, streams, rivers, and the bridges that cross them. Multi-story buildings, factories, rooftops, sunken and elevated roads, sewers and tunnels, marsh, crag, and graveyard. Artificial terrain like wire entrenchments, minefields, roadblocks, and pillboxes, and the wreckage of war such as blazes and rubble. A wide variety of new tactics are possible. Bypass movement to speed around obstacles, concealment to add protection and the fog of war, snipers to help simulate the chaos that is combat, heated battle rules to portray the myriad ways soldiers can react under fire, deployment in half squads to increase flexibility, Molotov cocktails, thrown demo charges, anti-tank magnetic mines, prisoners, commandos, partisans, finished troops that rally without leaders. There are rules for new types of vehicles: wagons, trucks, half-tracks, carriers, unarmored and partially armored vehicles, and open-topped AFVs. Rules for riders of all sorts: cavalry riders, motorcycle and bicycle riders, truck riders, half-track riders, and even tank riders. Rules for crew survival, vehicle overruns, burning wrecks, scrounged wrecks, radioless AFV, and gyro-stabilized main armaments. Rules for the King of Battle, off-board artillery, and rules for ASL's Design Your Own system for creating what-if battles with forces and terrain of your own choosing. The ASL's Rules 2nd Edition encompass all of these, most of which is all at your option, and Beyond Valor 3rd Edition contains 24 scenarios utilizing these rules along with the counters and boards needed to play them all. Want to play with cavalry? Pick ASL Scenario 130, Debacle at Coriston. Want a late war combined arms slugfest? Pick ASL 136, The Agony of Doom. Want ghetto partisans using sewers, rooftops, and Molotov cocktails? Pick ASL Scenario 2, Mila 18. And the above doesn't even include the advanced Chapter E rules for night, interrogation, weather, ski troops, boats, swimming, air support, gliders, paratroop landings, ammo vehicles, convoys, and barrage. Beyond Valor includes counters for over 130 different German vehicle and gun types and over 80 different Russian ones, while the rules include detailed Chapter H notes for each of those 210 plus weapons. Included in the ASL Rules 2nd Edition are separate full-color chapters for infantry, terrain, ordnance, and off-board artillery vehicles, a miscellaneous chapter with advanced rules, rules for playing on deluxe-sized boards, design your own rules, and German and Russian vehicle and ordnance notes, a training manual, an index, and numerous full-color hard-stock dividers with useful charts and player aids. A host of additional ASL products are also available. Start with Yanks, which include the entire American Order of Battle and scenarios and boards to use with it. and then work your way up from there. Don't forget the ASL Journal, an ASL-only periodical featuring articles on the strategy, tactics, design, and historical background of ASL, and a fistful of new ASL scenarios. So this is literally a game system. This is a stepping stone to a game system, ladies and gentlemen. And again, there are people who are totally fine with staying with just simply the starter kits, and that works. So as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, that this is certainly a way to reach out and give people a chance to experience ASL in a starter kit format, that you can go into it as deep as you want or not. Hey, this is Solo Guy, and I hope this benefits you. Let me know. All right? But, yeah, give it a try. You take care, have a good day, and God bless you.